To discuss American Majority CEO Ned Ryan. Ned, it is so great to have you with us this evening. Thanks for joining us. You know, Ned, Senator Warren is going after Mr. Pulte here. But to be fair, Mr. Pulte is not the only one who is raising some real questions and hurling criticism at Fed Chair Jerome Powell and how he's handled the Fed and also overseen these renovations to the headquarters. So what do you make of the calls for Fed Chair to be, frankly, to be fired, or the pressure campaign to maybe ask him to resign?
Well, I think it's kind of interesting. Obviously, Anna Paulina Luna's referring him to the DOJ revolves around his June 25th testimony, sworn testimony, by the way, in front of the Senate, in which he made some false claims about some of the renovation projects, which, by the way, $2.5 billion is just a massively...
You notice how when someone's lying under oath, but they have a little brass that the laws don't apply. But God forbid you say that you walked your dog on Tuesday and it turned out to be Wednesday. Off to the slammer. Unhireable, felony charge. But, you know, we got Fauci lying under oath multiple times. Even before the pardons, no real worry of any type of repercussions. Anybody that lies under oath, that means nothing anymore. As long as you got a little bit of brass.
Staggering figure that I still can't get my head around when I know that the new Buffalo Bills stadium is $2.2 billion and we're spending $2.5 billion on renovating the Federal Reserve.
That is nuts. That's an insane stat. $2.2 billion for the Bills stadium, Fed Reserve $2.5 billion. That is, you know what that tells me? Somebody's getting paid. There's money going under the table because there is just absolutely no way you could justify 2.2, 2.5 for the Fed. There's no way. Somebody is getting paid. Follow the money. Follow the money very carefully. I don't care if they're transferring to crypto. Somebody's getting paid.
But he made some false statements in which he denied that there were some of these luxury features like a VIP dining room, obviously premium marble, rooftop terrace, water fountains, all these things, which are directly contradicted by the plans given to the National Capital Planning Commission. He also made some statements and said there's never been a major renovation on this building. That's not true. There was one in 1999 through 2003. And then obviously there's some real questions about the letter that the exchange that he had with OMB director Russ Vought, in which he, quite frankly, mischaracterized some of these renovations and the costs, which are now $600 million over cost. So I think there's some real questions. If you cannot manage a renovation project and are going 30% over cost, what are you actually doing in trying to manage our monetary policy? So I think there's real questions not only about his honesty, but about his efficacy as the chair.
Do the political analysis for us. You know, the president has been very hard, kind of day after day, on Jay Powell, and some would say the guy deserves it. Others would say
he does.
Don't spend your time on that.
I like this guest. He's good. He does deserve it. Yeah, he absolutely does deserve it. He's costing everyday Americans like myself hundreds of dollars, which is a lot to me, every single month in my mortgage rate. It's absolutely insane. They know it's not justified. They're trying to hurt Trump's. They're trying to hurt Trump's standing with the United States citizens by, keeping rates high. They don't want a good housing market.
Nat, he's gone in May anyway. How do you read that, Nat? Is it smart to go after him? Should the president spend his time elsewhere?
I think a lot of his economic decisions, Trump's, his plans, and Bessent's, they're trying to get it down much lower to save. I think it's $1 trillion. They want to get it down to 1%.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I don't have really high expectations with Powell doing that, but it'd save $1 trillion on our payments. And so there's a lot of things that I
save $1 trillion in America's payments. Let's say it saves $500 in my mortgage. That's a big deal. That's a big deal to me.
I think Trump is thinking he's throwing a monkey wrench in my plans to really get this economy humming. And so
I think what's actually going on with Powell is he is currently a fall guy for the Democrats. I think that guy, they must have some serious dirt on him or have made some serious threats, because he knows rates need to be lowered. He's doing the bidding of the Democrat Party. He knows it. And why? He doesn't like taking this abuse. I know he doesn't like taking this abuse. They got something on him. That's all it is.
The pressure campaign, I mean, I'm hearing reports that Powell is not outright rejecting anymore, resigning early. So I think this pressure campaign is going to continue because Trump is insistent that his economic plans move forward at light speed.
Ned, just to play, devil's advocate a little bit on that point, there are some folks that are kind of concerned about the opposite, that if we see Jerome Powell leave before his term is actually up, that would roil financial markets, that he's so close to the end of his term in May. We're hearing that from bank CEOs. Right. Senator John Thune, majority leader, just said the Fed should be independent.
Yeah, Fed should be independent, but they don't act as an independent actor. So what's independent about that? They do the bidding of the Democrat Party. What is independent about that?
Do you echo any of those concerns whatsoever?
I think the markets and these banks, they just want to know that there's an actual plan. They want consistency. They want to know that there are some guarantees that everything will move along smoothly. And Trump's not there's no mystery as to what Trump wants. Right. And I think if he puts a new chair in, I think people will realize, I mean, they lost their minds over the tariffs. That proved to be an overreaction. I think there might be some overreaction on this point as well. He gets a new Fed chair. I think the markets will calm down pretty quickly and move ahead.
Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent made the point today that it's not just about Jay Powell, actually. We need to overhaul across the Federal Reserve System. And one stat that is cited often, but I still think is extraordinary, 92% of political donations from Fed staff in the last presidential cycle went to Democrats. So when you want to
boom, there you go. Who didn't see that coming? 92% of donations went to the Democratic Party. Those are members of the super inflated Fed staff. So again, not acting as a independent actor. That is a bought and paid for tool of the Democrat Party. And I guarantee the missing 8% probably just didn't contribute, period. But there is zero contributions to Republicans. And even if there was, there would be zero contributions to Donald Trump. Not happening.
Hey, you're independent. It's like you're not really independent if you're in the tank that far, Ned. What do you
see my point?
What do you make of that?
Yeah, no, that's correct. I mean, there are a lot of people sitting in various departments and agencies inside of D.C. that's about right. 92 to 95% are going towards Democrats. I do not consider them independent. I consider them with a very serious political worldview on how they operate. I guess the other question I have, Brian, too, is what are the 20-some thousand employees of the Federal Reserve actually doing every day?
Yep.
I would argue it's one of those agencies that needs to actually be doged.
Yeah, how did they escape the Doges? 20,000 employees. Absolute insanity. Insanity. But God forbid we leave them without finished marble and a terrace to have their cocktails at. Yeah, Powell needs to go.